Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Jamaica Medical Doctors Association calls for urgent overhaul of public infrastructure by Health Ministry. $200 million health facility set for Manchester. And later in sports, Manchester United fires manager. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kerry Simpson. Here are the details. The Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, is urging the Ministry of Health to take immediate action to resolve the ongoing and widespread infrastructural challenges in the public sector. The call comes in the wake of the postponement of a surgery for an 11-year-old at the Bustamante Hospital for Children because of a malfunctioning AC unit. According to the JMDA, the infrastructural challenges are not unique to the Children's Hospital. The association notes in a statement that over the years it has highlighted the widespread infrastructural and human resources deficiencies in repeated communications with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. It says despite numerous letters and persistent efforts from the JMDA to engage the ministry, there has been limited response to some of these critical issues that are both impacting both healthcare workers and the quality of patient care. The JMDA adds that it stands ready to work with the ministry for the best interests of the nation's healthcare system and the well-being of every Jamaican. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has announced two multi-million-dollar health facilities for southern Manchester and ongoing financial support for two others. Speaking at a Jamaica Labour Party conference at the Newport Heart Academy Sunday night, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton disclosed plans for a $200 million health facility to be constructed in the parish of Manchester.
One of the biggest developments that you're going to have in this constituent community called Downs, where we are finalizing discussions with the backside lands to put a facility that's going to cost in the region of some $200 million to support people in Downs and its environment with all the amenities in a facility for a modern health center. Look how good that's coming.
But that's not all.
We know that you're borrowing a little place for a health center. And I have been having discussion with your MP. And he said, this can't work, Minister. The people of Newport deserve better. And I agree with him 100%. Well, we are almost finalizing agreement for lands, again, backside lands. And we are planning to put in Newport, just down the road, one of the most modern health centers to replace the borrowed facility that we have down the road to support.
Additionally, the health minister says substantial sums have been spent on the Cross Keys and Prattville health clinics in the constituency. In the meantime, Dr. Tufton reacted to a recent Don Anderson poll that shows the People's National Party has a 9 percentage points lead over the governing Jamaica Labour Party.
I have been a part of the Jamaica Labour Party for 8 years in government, this last administration, 25 years otherwise. And I know what we have done over the last years. And we have done a lot of good. We have done a lot of good. There is a difference between the reality of the good that we have done and people's perception of what we have done.
Fire gutted approximately 10 houses in a tenement yard at 31 to 33 Water Lane in downtown Kingston this morning. More than 25 people were left homeless, including several children. Residents say they lost all belongings in the fire. However, there were no injuries. It's reported that the fire started after 3 this morning. Firefighters on the scene say 3 units responded. The cause of the fire is yet to be determined. The police have confirmed that a man who was one of 2 people arrested on the weekend had been on the St. James Most Wanted list for murder and wounding with intent. Lucretia Nico Maxwell and a woman, Georgia Miller, also known as Queenie, have been charged with gun and ammunition possession following their arrest on Friday. Miller is a customer service representative from Garland District in Springmount St. James, where both were nabbed. A St. Thomas business operator is demanding justice this afternoon. Terence Wilson says since the start of the road rehabilitation project, whenever it rains, her business located in Poor Man's Corner gets flooded.
The drain cannot hold the water that is coming from up the top. So it's either they put the water further down or they make some proper drainage. Some said to me, they won't go come to fix road. Last year, when they had the heavy rain, my premises from High Honey is the first that water come over here and flood the place.
She says she has spoken to past and present political representatives about the matter, but nothing has been done. Ms. Wilson says with the hurricane season still in effect, she is fearful of what could happen to her property.
Yesterday, they came here, they burst the sidewalk, put in a few pipes there, said that they are going to take the water off my premises, off the road. So nothing can settle and put it in the drain. They came back this morning, they pulled the pipes that they put there and was doing some work in there. I don't know everything that they did. And I went across and looked and I said, no, what you people are doing is just foolishness. When you take the water off the road and put it in the drain, what happened to the back of my building? The gentleman says he's just working according to the instruction that he gets. I said, no, it can't happen like that. Before someone go and sit in the gully, I want to have to take the tractor and take me out. Anyhow, they take up few little muck in the drain, and after arguing with them and so on, they leave with the tractor.
When contacted, communications manager at the National Works Agency, Stephen Shaw, says he would be investigating the matter. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has reiterated the government's intent in boosting investments in the parish of St. Thomas. He was speaking on Friday at the handing over of an indigent house in the Seaford area in the parish. O'Shane Masters reports.
After losing her home in Afar some 3 years ago, Marcia Davis was handed the keys to her brand new home by local government minister Desmond McKenzie. The house was built through the ministry's indigent housing program. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie says other homes will be built in short order.
There are 2 more units that are presently under construction, Prime Minister, which will be completed in another 8 to 10 weeks, depend on the weather. It is a commitment that was made by a caring Prime Minister, a caring and understanding government, and we are here today to fulfill part 1 of that commitment that was made to this family.
Miss Davis's home was destroyed following a fire on Saturday, October 22, 2022. The fire left 14 people homeless. Minister McKenzie says following the handing over of those houses, a further 8 will be built in Cheswick, St. Thomas. In the meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness continues to allay the fears of St. Thomas residents, who for years have complained about the poor state of roads and lack of proper infrastructure and potable water in the parish. Hence, he says there's a concerted effort to rid St. Thomas of the connotation of the forgotten parish.
The only way to address sufferation in a long-term, sustainable, and enduring way is to make investments. Investments that are going to generate revenues that we can then spend in a substantial way, in a long-term way, in a sustainable way, in addressing the pain points that are affecting you now. Your road, your water, and access to amenities.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More local stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Agriculture Minister Floyd says the government will be continuing on the same proactive path he said was taken to help farmers bounce back quicker from Hurricane Beryl than they have for any other natural disaster of that nature. He was speaking at a function for Hurricane Beryl relief supplies to farmers in St. Catherine on Thursday. More in this report.
While opposition spokesman on agriculture, Dr. Dayton Campbell, continues his criticism of the government's Hurricane Beryl relief support to farmers, the agriculture minister is touting the successes of the state's response. He was at a function to distribute Beryl relief supplies to farmers in St. Catherine on Thursday when he outlined what he deemed a proactive approach that got farmers into production shortly after the Category 4 storm.
To procure items like seeds from early in the year, long before any storm was on the horizon. So this time, after this natural disaster, literally 2 weeks after, we were able to go to farmers in the hardest hit areas and say, here are some seeds, you can start again.
Over $6 billion worth of crops and farm animals washed away as a result of the hurricane, and over 40,000 farmers and 11,000 fishers have been affected. Floyd notes full recovery will take some time, but he highlighted the progress being made so far to help 22,000 farmers across the island.
That includes about 3,000 banana and plantain farmers that we provided direct support for in relation to fertilizer. As you know, one of the hardest hit areas is our banana and plantain area. We lost about 64% of our banana and plantain crop. So we've already helped 3,000 of them. And I can tell you that we're programmed to help another 1,000 over the next few weeks.
In the hardest hit parish of St. Elizabeth,
that we've distributed 23,100 birds. And 528 farmers have benefited from that distribution. I can also tell you that we've distributed 656 bags of feed. And those farmers who got this feed did not get birds. They got feed alone. And 26 farmers benefited from that. I can tell you we've distributed 571 vitamins to 571 farmers.
As for the affected farmers in St. Catherine, the Sugar Company of Jamaica, SCJ Holdings Limited, provided $5 million in support.
That we're going to be distributing seeds, chemicals to include herbicides and pesticides, fertilizers, courtesy of the SCJ. And I will say to the farmers, if you need additional support in relation to land preparation, speak to RADA because we can help you in that regard.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica says net remittance inflows, the difference between inflows and outflows, climbed by $10.4 million to $280 million during the month of August this year. This was due to a $10.4 million spike in inflows, while outflows climbed by $400,000. The central bank, however, says net remittance inflows increased by $2.9 million to $1.35 billion during the period March to August of this year when compared with the similar period last year. Spirit Airlines has announced a new plan to sell older planes and cut jobs. Spirit Airlines has said in a regulatory filing it would sell 23 of its older Airbus aircraft starting this month, which Spirit estimates will bring in about $519 million. Spirit said it also plans to cut about $80 million in annual costs by a reduction in workforce. It's not immediately clear how many employees would be impacted. And Alphabet, the parent company of Google, will likely post its slowest revenue growth in 4 quarters on Tuesday, hurt by competition that weighed on its core Google search business and dented YouTube ad spending. The slowdown in its core business is expected to overshadow AI-driven gains at its cloud computing business in the 3rd quarter. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Nakinski Robinson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Guyana government is undertaking public consultation on the new Protection from Harassment Bill 2024 as it seeks to eradicate gender-based violence in the country. The authorities said the public exercise will end on December 5. The proposed bill seeks to address harassment in various settings, particularly in public and private workplaces, with a particular focus on protecting vulnerable groups and preventing sexual harassment and stalking. On the international scene, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has vowed to continue ruling the country despite a bruising loss suffered by his party at the general election. The country now faces an uncertain political future as the coalition led by the long-ruling Liberal Democratic Party has lost its majority in parliament, its worst result in over a decade. Ishiba was sworn in as Prime Minister just this month after winning the leadership of his party. He had called a snap election to seal his mandate. And Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has proposed a 2-day truce in Gaza that would potentially pave the way for a long-term ceasefire as Israel's genocide has killed more than 1,000 Palestinians in the northern areas of the Strip in less than a month. El-Sisi's proposal, which includes exchanging 4 Israeli captives held in Gaza for Palestinian prisoners in Israel jails, came as thousands of trapped civilians endure relentless Israeli attacks that have killed at least 50 people, including 5 journalists, since Sunday. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
Thanks, Hal Shane, and we head to another break. Sports is next.